so we're here checking out your biped project. You've got your head base started here. So we're just going to go over a few things to really optimize it and get it ready to keep adding details and so on. So a few things that we're going to go over today is some of the shaping for the mouth and nose area as well as the eyes here, okay? And we're also going to address the issues with the chin geometry and edge flow as well, so we can fix that up and get it looking like we want it to, okay? So first thing I'm going to look at is the mouth area here, okay? It's some pretty good shaping so far, but there are a few inconsistencies and little problems here with it. One thing that you'll notice is you've got the corner of the mouth here, okay? This is kind of a good thing to keep track of where this corner is happening, alright? So basically where the corner of the mouth is happening, it should be continuing straight back just as you have it at the moment. And anything that's further forward from this mouth corner should be rounded out, so everything should kind of flow to a point here and then flow in the opposite direction, okay, as you go from the top lip to the bottom lip. So everything looks fine on this particular edge loop, okay, as I'm going around here, but when I go to the next one out, you can see we're coming up here, and this kind of a curve that we've got here is actually continuing on up past the corner of the mouth and making a point right up here, when actually the point should be happening right here at that corner of the mouth, and then the edge should be flowing up this way, okay? So changing directions at that point. Another thing here with the mouth is that to really define this lip area, we want to bring this edge loop right above the lip, okay, right here. We really want to bring that down closer to this edge loop right here, alright, and that's going to help give us a sharper crease there on the lip, and it's going to help define that lip area more when we're in smooth preview mode. You can see right now it's kind of just slowly curving around. We really want that to be a sharper, more defined area, okay? So if you look at your lips, you'll see just kind of smoothly comes up and then sort of sharply changes direction there, okay? There's just a little turn of direction, right? We want to make sure we define that. So let's go in and deal with those areas right now. I'm going to just look at this from the side, and at times I may be working with both sides of the face, other times I might just be working with one side of the face. It's not critical to work with both sides of the face at the same time, okay, because if we do want to make changes, we can make them on just one side of the face and then delete the other side and re-mirror the side that we've been working on, okay? It's probably a good idea to do that just in case you miss something while you're going through, okay? So, so again, you may see me sometimes grabbing things on both sides of the face and sometimes neglecting to do that because I'm planning on just re-mirroring, okay? So let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to put this into X-ray mode right here so that I can see a little better what's going on. I'm going to head to my vertex mode here, and I'm going to just going to pull this down much closer, okay? Just tugging things around, making sure that I'm following, following the curves that I've already got established. So this one, which was making this false corner up here, needs to come all the way over this way, alright? We just want to make sure we have nice flowing lines here, that we don't have any sudden turns where we don't want them, okay? And so it should look, you know, something like that, the lips there, okay? Pretty close. At least from the side they should look that way, alright? Okay, so you can see that although they look fine from the side, you know, when we zoom in here, we can see it's not looking so pretty from this angle. So again, just make sure that you are always looking at things from multiple angles and adjusting, okay? You can also look in your orthographic views here as well to really help you get the hang of where things need to be, alright, in relation to one another, okay? And again, you're just trying to follow those curves that you've already established, alright? Nothing too crazy. If you look at things from different angles and follow the curves that you've kind of already set into place, you'll have an easy time getting some nice flowing organic shapes going, alright? Okay, so there's that. Now, you know, another thing with the lips here is that we've got these great big giant polygons here next to these little tiny thin ones. So the spacing here is really not ideal, okay? So we definitely want to address that and make this spacing much more even, okay? So I'm gonna just take a look at the front here. I'm gonna grab these edges, okay? I'm gonna grab that one right there, and I'll kind of look on the inside of the mouth here too. And you know, once I grab something right here, I can actually double click on another edge, and it will go ahead and select every edge in between the one that I started with and the one that I double clicked on. So that's an easy way of selecting edges quickly, alright, that are all in the same edge loop. Alright, so I'm going to grab those on both sides. I'm going to bring those in quite a bit, okay? It's really a lot here, and you know, it's gonna pinch the nose a lot, but we're gonna sort of deal with the nose a little later on, alright? So I'm also gonna grab these. You know, since I moved this over, it kind of makes sense to move the others over accordingly as well, the next edge loop out, alright? Just kind of make up for that change that I've made. So move that in a little bit. And it's not going to look perfect at the beginning, but you know, it's just a case of, you know, getting things generally where you think you want them to be, and then going in more carefully and adjusting things vertex by vertex, okay? Grab these. Oops. Okay, so I got that entire edge loop there by mistake. So just be careful when you're selecting things. Make sure that you're looking at your selections and that you only have what you intended to select and not grabbing any extra stuff. Alright, so I'm going to move that about like that. So our spacing is a little bit more even. It can definitely be even more even. We can also grab things here. And when you're marquee selecting like this, you're almost certainly grabbing things behind whatever it is you're selecting as well. Okay, so double check. If you see your tool kind of centered in the area that you're expecting it, you're probably good. You know, if you see it, if I had, you know, maybe accidentally grabbed something like that, you know, it becomes pretty apparent when your tool is nowhere near those ones that you were intending to select, that you may have gotten something in the wrong area on the back here. Okay, so watch out for that. And make sure, too, when you're grabbing these verts, that you're grabbing all the ones you want. Some of these might not have been selected in the back here because they're kind of far off the mark compared to these other ones. Alright. So, you can just move things around. Now, there's actually, kind of a little shape to the lips where, it kind of comes up into a point here for a moment, just dips down just a little bit, comes to a point, and then continues back down, right? And depending on the person, and their particular facial structure, it may be more pronounced or less pronounced, but it's going to be there. So make sure that you do kind of account for that, and just take these guys right here on either side of the center up at least just a little bit from this center area. It's going to look funny at first because we haven't adjusted all these other guys to account for that, but we will. So let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, grab these two because they're kind of curving way out and away, and I'm just going to bring them just a little more in line with the lines that I've established here already, alright? It's going to make it easier to work with later on, okay? I'm also going to grab these, and I'm going to bring them up a little bit, alright? So this is going to be actually, the inside of the mouth here, and, obviously the roof of your mouth is going to be going upwards, so you're not really going to want to see that when you're looking at the mouth straight on, alright? So you might want to bring some of these things back in here. You just want to bring them over a bit to be more in line with the rest of their edge loops, okay? And you'll also want to bring these things up so that they're out of the way and they don't look like this long continuation of the lips, okay? And if it helps, you can look at this in your orthographic view as well. Look at it in your perspective view, however you're best able to see the shapes that you're making and assess how they're flowing, alright? Put those guys in. And we'll move these up. Alright, so things are a little bit more in line at the moment. Okay. Now let's kind of deal with that the rest of these edge loops here that we were working on. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next set of vertices along these edge loops here. Make sure I haven't grabbed anything I didn't mean to grab, and make sure I have grabbed everything along this edge loop. Alright. And to account for the fact that I brought these guys right here up, I'm going to have to smooth out the rest of these. Okay. Just by bringing them up slightly as well. Alright. Just know that, the end goal here is that we have this nice, smooth progression coming up through here, and then we have that dip down and back up, and then smoothly coming back out this way, okay? Another thing in this area you may want to go ahead and take a look at while you're here is your shaping on the bottom lip as well, okay? So if we take a look at this, right here we've kind of got this swooping down and then changing direction, staying relatively flat at this point, and then dipping down, coming back up. Okay, so we've got some strange shapes going on there. So it's important to kind of come in and deal with these a little bit. Just kind of make sure that you're using these edge loops that you created to really enhance the shape that you want, okay, to get. So it's going to be this nice round shape. You don't want to ever see areas where you've got, you know, a vertex and another vertex and another vertex all in a perfectly straight line with one another. Okay, because then we've just got this extra vertex here in the middle that's really not actually pushing our shape at all. Okay, it's just taking up our computer's graphics there. Alright, so make sure that anytime you've got some verts, you're using them effectively to help your shape in some small way. Okay, it doesn't have to be a drastic change. You know, usually it's just very subtle curves that you're creating, but you know, it's gonna help your model a lot in the long run. Alright, you can just kind of, once you get the basic shape down that you want, you can kind of continue outwards to the next edge loop and sort of see how you might continue that shape. Alright, so here for example, we're going to kind of continue something that feels natural in between this curve, alright, and the curve of the lips here, okay? And you're also dealing with what feels natural coming off of this curve that's coming down from the eyeballs there, alright? So, you know, kind of judging that center space between all those elements is how you're really going to find a really good edge flow. Alright, so this seems like kind of a point that's halfway between this guy here and this guy here. You know, it's halfway between this guy here and this guy here. And you get kind of this, making this nice smooth curve going this way, nice smooth curve going this way. You know, it's following the other curves around it quite well. Alright, so that's kind of the idea that you're going for when you're doing this kind of thing. Now, you know, I've just been adjusting this from the front at this point. So, you know, again, it's always really important that even when something looks great from one angle, you need to go in and look at it from other angles as well and make sure that things are still following the curves you want them to follow, alright? So if we kind of look at the corner of the mouth again, for example, you can see it's kind of swooping up at this point right here, alright? If we look at it from the side. And this is a little difficult to see sometimes, especially in the mouth area, because we have this, the mouth bag back in the back here. That kind of makes things a little less clear for us. There's a lot going on there, especially in X-ray mode. So, you know, it may take some looking at to kind of determine what's happening here. You know, you can click things, you can look at them in multiple views to make sure you're selecting what you think you're selecting, alright? You can just kind of adjust things this way, just by grabbing them, okay, in different views. I'm going to pull that down quite a bit, and the one next to it as well. Pull that down. So, part of the problem that's happening with the chin is that our geometry is actually not quite set up right here. Now the corner of the mouth should actually be continuing down this way. All right, it's going up at the moment, kind of drastically. It should be pretty well centered. All right, so basically what you're seeing with this next line here at the moment is really what this mouth corner geometry should be doing, okay? So we're gonna kind of finagle that right now. So I'm gonna grab this edge loop. I'm just gonna start right here, okay? I'm gonna come around to the other side and grab this. Just, you remember I just double click to select everything in between the first thing I selected and the second thing, okay? All the way along that edge loop. And I can just pull this down, wait a bit, alright? I'm going to go ahead and kind of even this out a little bit as well using my scale tool. You can see with my scale tool here, I can bring things into a more straight line. You can see they were kind of wavy before and getting a little out of hand there. So I'm gonna straighten that out for now, just using my scale tool. And I'm also gonna bring this in using my scale tool. I'm bringing it in just a little bit. And of course, when I scale it from the center there, it's gonna scale from over here as well as from over here. So I'm gonna probably want to also move it forward a bit. Okay, just to make up for that scaling. Alright, so now it's kind of roughly in the correct location where I want it to be. Alright, now there's a lot going on with the chin here. So let's kind of reshape it a little bit first to make things easier to see where they might naturally flow to. And then we'll deal with actually changing the geometry here. Just one more quick thing with the mouth here, though, that I'm going to do before we get into the chin. Because it's just staring at me. Okay, so, again, when we're looking at this from the front, we kind of don't really want to see all this inner guts stuff at the moment, alright? So it shouldn't be coming up in any place where we can see this inner mouth area coming up over the edge of the lips. Alright, so we should have this kind of fairly tucked away, where when we're viewing the face from straight on, we're not going to see that. We're going to later on place some teeth and a tongue in here, so it's not going to just be this empty void, but we do want to make sure that we make some room for those teeth and tongue to go in later. Okay, so make sure you kind of move that stuff out of the way so you can't really see it when you're looking at the face. Alright? Okay, so let's take a look at our mouth again. I'm going to say, just from my kind of aesthetic, I'd say I'd move the mouth up a little bit. And, you can do that by grabbing a whole lot of vertices, or you can also grab edge loops if you like. Alright. I'm just going to go in here and grab all of these. I'm just double clicking on these to select the edge loops all the way around. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Okay. And obviously different people are going to have different face shapes, but this seems a little bit more natural for me. Okay. You can even move that in a little bit. Alright. It's going to help your chin shaping quite a bit if you just give your chin area a little more room to work with. Okay. Alright. Now, let's start dealing with the chin then, since we were talking about it before. We're gotta deal with it sometime. Now, kind of what we've got going on here is we've got the chin sort of coming out, and then it's swooping back inwards. It's, not really something that we want. We don't want it to pinch in on the bottom here either. We always want to keep our spacing relatively even whenever we can. The spacing should be very uniform. And really, the only time that we mess with spacing by having little tiny skinny polygons next to big old giant ones is when we really want to emphasize a particular edge. Okay, so that's really the only time we use spacing differences like that. Alright, so we want to keep our spacing pretty even. We don't want all this little skinny stuff next to the big old giant things. So we're going to move things out a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to move that out quite a bit, really. I'm going to round this out, this whole chin area out a lot. Because you can kind of see right now where the chin's coming out, and it's kind of this sharp edge at the moment, alright? And obviously, chins are generally not sharp, so we really want to round that shape out a lot, okay? You can come in from the side here, and we can actually just, even, as a quick fix for this, or a start to a quick fix, we can actually just grab all of those guys right there and just move them up in space a bit, alright? And that's really already going to give us a nicer, rounder chin shape, okay? And of course, when we do that, it's not going to look very pretty from the front anymore, so we are going to have to adjust things that way as well, alright? Just by grabbing things on both sides here and using my scale tool, I can bring these things back out in a more rounded shape. Just kind of one at a time. Now, what's happened here is actually that this edge loop right here, we kind of replaced it with the one at the corner of the mouth here. This was kind of defining the neck from the base of the skull. Now we're defining the neck area from the base of the skull with this mouth corner edge loop. And this one actually should be kind of our neck base edge loop. Alright, so we actually want to bring this down a lot. Just like we did with the one above it at the corner of the mouth. Okay? So we're going to just grab that. Grab all these. I'm going to use my scale tool again to straighten them out. I'm just scaling in the Y direction here. And I'm going to bring these pretty far down. Okay? I can move them over if I want. I can scale them in. Move them around. Whatever seems to flow nicely. And of course, we're going to adjust all these kinds of things individually anyway. So, I'm going to grab this here, and I'm going to try to make this loop from the mouth kind of gradually smooth into this neck shape here, okay? Alright, so I'm not going to just leave it like this, stretching way out. I'm going to bring this up as if it's following this curve here. Okay, I'm going to bring this. We're just going to move things around a little bit to try and follow some of the curves that we've already got set up. We're not going to deal with all of these at once, but we're going to get kind of the general idea of the curves we want to see happening sort of blocked in, okay? Now, I'm sure you noticed we've got kind of this problem polygon happening right here, okay? And if you take a look at it, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. All right, so there's a lot going on there. We don't want that. Again, you know, this is actually to do with the edge flow of the mouth here, and we can fix this pretty easily just by changing the way we're looking at our geometry here. So what I'm going to do is actually just bring this edge loop up into the mouth area, okay? And it'll end inside the mouth here, okay? Just come to an end at this last edge loop. We have an opening, alright? And I'm going to wind up getting rid of this edge, okay, and just merging it with the edge above here, okay? It's going to keep everything quadded when I do this, alright? And it's also going to get rid of our weird geometry here and improve our flow a lot. So to start with, I'm just going to go ahead and come up to Edit Mesh. I can use my interactive split tool. Alright, I'm going to grab this guy right here that's kind of trailing off into the middle of this 6-sided polygon, and I'm going to bring this right up into the center in between these two adjacent edges here, okay? I'm going to bring it all the way through this mouth area, okay? All the way to the back here until it, you know, kind of gets to the end, and just hit enter. Okay. Now, I did have a problem with that. It didn't. You can see it didn't work all the way, and that's actually likely because of our 6-sided polygon. That's why we don't like 6-sided polygons, is because they do tend to cause problems like this, where we have trouble using some of our tools in Maya. Okay, it just doesn't know how to handle these crazy polygons. So we can try our split tool again. It liked it better that time, so there you go. Just keep trying, I guess, is the moral of the story there. But so let's go ahead and finish getting rid of our 6-sided polygon, which is now 5-sided. Okay, we've improved it a little bit already. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to actually just go around and start merging this edge loop here that's just kind of coming out of nowhere and winding up, going around like this. We're going to merge that with this edge loop right above it. Alright? So I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, Merge Vertex tool. I'm just going to click and drag these vertices from this edge loop right here over to that one that's just below the corner of our mouth, okay, that we've established as kind of the new base of the neck. Okay? So I'm just clicking and dragging. Just continuing around. Now, I didn't fix all that crazy stuff over here on this side, so of course we'll have to do that here too before we kind of can get all the way around. Alright, so Edit Mesh, interactive split tool, we'll do the same thing on the other side here. That time it worked pretty well. And we'll come up to Edit Mesh, Merge Vertex tool, and we'll keep going around as we were, now that we've kind of dealt with that area. Merge Vertex tool can be a little finicky sometimes when you've got a lot of geometry, so make sure that you are grabbing the right vertices. You can always Z back if you grab something you didn't mean to. Okay, so once we've done that, you know, it might not look pretty at the moment, but we've got corner of our mouth coming around, continuing all the way around to the other corner here. We've got this next edge loop coming down, forming the base of the neck here. Alright, coming all the way around. And then we've got this next guy coming around along the bottom, okay, and continuing up over the top of the head, through the eyeball, and through this top part of the lip as well, okay? And you can see all our geometry is now quadded. Even this kind of corner guy right here is, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides, right? So everything is quadded out, so our geometry is very sound at this point. Now it's just a matter of dealing with shaping, because obviously, you know, this is looking pretty messy at the moment. So, hey, you know, it's just a matter of coming in, grabbing those verts. I'm going to just work on one side at the moment, alright, so that we can kind of save time. Again, you know, you probably just want to work on one side and deal with the other side just by mirroring over the side that you've been working on, okay? And just remember, you want to create these nice, smooth curves as much as possible, alright? You'll want to make sure that you keep your spacing pretty consistent. So that means since I added a new edge loop right in between these two guys, I'm going to have to move everything over just a little bit to make room, make space for that new edge loop to kind of fit into the grand scheme of things here. And I actually don't want this to, like, curve in too much. I don't want it to come out and swoop back in again. I want these actually to kind of continue outwards, kind of radiating from this mouth area, okay? So I'll show you what I mean here with the shape. And, you know, bear in mind, I'm doing this pretty quickly, so you'll want to take a lot more care when you're working with these things than what I'm doing here in the video. So you're going to be seeing shapes that are a little more kind of flowing outwards. So instead of, again, instead of coming out this way and swooping back in, it's just going to make more of a straight line, just kind of radiating out from this mouth area, alright? It's going to get a little interesting along this edge loop here, since we are going to kind of swoop down a little dramatically and form that that base of the neck there. All right. Now, you know, I haven't brought this all the way down this neck base area. You know, if I want to, I can grab these and bring them down further, or alternatively, you know, if I kind of like my shaping there, I can bring these up. All right, I'm gonna bring these up for now, and you know, just maybe bring those down a little so that we get this kind of nice, smooth chin shape going on. You know, we'll have to look at these things from the side as well. Obviously, we've got this curve coming down this way, your face. So we need to continue that down here on the bottom as well. I'm just going to grab these guys and rotate them a little bit. And that's going to help that shape dramatically. Alright. And again, I'm still just working with the one side at the moment, so things can sometimes look a little funny when you're looking through X-ray mode when you've only got one side that you're working on. Okay, things will get a little off track there. And if it ever gets confusing working with just the one side, and things over here are looking totally different than things over here, and it's causing you a lot of grief in X-ray mode here, you know, you can just come in and delete that second side. It's not going to hurt anything. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll just grab these faces on one side, get rid of them, zoom in real close. So make sure that I got all of them. And I also want to make sure that I didn't get anything extra. Alright. So now we just got the one side. Okay. So now you can see, we can kind of see what we're doing a lot better. And it's very easy to see the curves that we've got happening, and pretty easy to follow them in a way that feels natural. Alright. Just looking at spacing as well, you know, we got some little tiny polygons here and some big long ones right here. So it's a good indication that we should maybe bring things down a bit, help even that out. It's just this kind of constant checking how the curves along the face are flowing. Right? And if they're flowing in a natural way, and smooth from one moment to the next. Okay. So I'm not going to spend too much time dealing with all these curves, because I think you know, you probably get the idea there as far as the curves go. I'm going to deal with some more of the major shaping issues that we have. One thing that you'll want to go ahead and take a moment to deal with is actually the cheek right here. At the moment, it's quite flat. If you kind of just touch your cheekbones underneath your eye, or just take a look at yourself in the mirror, you know, in a profile from the side, you'll see this nice kind of puffing out right here, this nice little S curve that kind of starts with your eye socket here. It's going to come out at your cheekbone, and it's going to curve back inwards and come around your mouth. Okay? So we want to indicate that shaping and that bone structure, the underlying bone structure here in our face. Alright, so just grab some of these verts here, and you know, you kind of have the right idea already going on where your nose is here. You know, you've got that nice curve in there, but it's just not continuing through the rest of the cheek. This is just all coming very flat. Okay? So make sure you grab these guys, pull them out, look at them from the side here if you need to. Grab these. And make sure you have this nice rounded cheek shape. And it's just going to sort of flow into what's happening with the mouth down here. Okay. It's just going to involve pulling these out just a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. I'm going to pull this back. As you come back into this area of the face here, these guys will pull back a little bit, alright? But as soon as you get that rounded cheek shape in there a little bit, it's going to really improve the shaping of your face. Make it look more natural. Okay, you can even pull this out a little more, actually. Just get that shaping in there somewhere. Alright, so it should look something like that. Okay. And the other thing here is, we move this part of the nose in quite a bit. So you can see it's created kind of this really sharp angle. So we'll want to move that in as well. I think the nose at the moment is pretty wide for the face. Of course, again, different people have different noses, and nose shaping can be pretty interesting. A lot of different kinds of noses. But it's probably going to be a good idea to bring some of this in a little bit. Alright? Just a bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. Okay, there's some unusual stuff going on the inside area of the nose here as well. Alright, so let's see if we can't find out what that's about. Alright, so there's this guy right here, this vertex, that should be pulled in this way. Alright, because at the moment it's hanging out way over here and folding up all your geometry on top of itself. Okay, so make sure that you bring that in. You can bring this down and in a little bit to kind of help that shape a little bit. Okay, this is fine. You might bring it down just a little bit, and everything up here looks alright, just bring that in just a smidge. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. You may also want to work on your spacing right here on these two guys right here, the one that's coming from the corner of the eye as well as this one right above it. You may want to move this up a little, potentially. And you may also want to move this down a little, just a little bit. You can also, shape this however you like as well. You can have a lot of fun with noses. Just make sure that, again, this is another kind of one of those cases where you've got these edges that are kind of right next to each other, these vertices that are all in a row. They're in sort of a perfectly straight line, so they're not really helping the shape at all. So really you want don't want any perfectly straight lines, you want curves. However slight, to really help you with your shaping. You can bring this in slightly. You could bring it outwards to make a more kind of distinct, pronounced nose shape. I mean, there's lots of great nose shapes that you can work off of, but just make sure that you are, using these for shaping these edges that you have. No reason to have them there if you're not going to use them. So grab this as well and pull it out just a little bit. I'll pull this out a little bit too. So this can really, just taking a look closely can really help you define this nose shape in a really unique way. Okay. One more thing, just on the eyeballs here. Again, we've got kind of this thing going on where we get this super straight lines happening. You'll want to grab things like this and make sure that they're nice and round. Here on the eyelid as well. Just grabbing these guys, rounding them out. Making sure that you're not getting these super straight lines. And you'll want to pull things up on the inside of the eyelids here as well. Okay. So that's all looking a lot better already. You're also going to want to take some time in the back of the head here, and quite a bit of wobble going on with the edges here. So I'd grab a lot of these and take some time, use that scale tool, straighten these out quite a bit, alright? And make sure we've got these nice flowing round curves. So the balance between curves and straight lines. So anywhere you're seeing zigzagging, we don't want zigzags, we want curves, okay? So you can straighten things out, you can kind of rotate them, you can grab individual verts and just make things flow a little more smoothly. Alright, you'll want to work on the spacing as well. Since we did move quite a few things, we kind of reorganized the head shape here. A lot of these things are going to be moving down quite a bit. Alright, and that's going to require a little bit of attention and care to make sure that things are getting back on track. Alright. So you just be moving things around based on the ideas of trying to keep your spacing nice and even, and trying to keep nice, organically flowing curves on your model. Alright? Basically, you just look at it from one angle and kind of try and get everything flowing as nicely as you can, and then take a look at that same area from another angle. Make sure it's still flowing nicely, no matter which direction you're looking at it from. Alright, rounding things out. Okay, so I'm going to stop with that for now because I think you get the idea of what you need to focus on for those different areas. I'm going to say I'm done modeling. I am happy with what I have. It's great, awesome. I've fixed all my spacing down here. I've fixed the spacing on the top. I fixed the chin flow, and it all looks awesome. I'm ready to keep going. So basically, at this point, all I really need to do is go ahead and mirror things over. Okay, so I can just come up with my object selected to mesh, and I can go to mirror geometry and just click on the little box, my option box on the right side there. It's going to bring up my mirror options. Now the direction I want to mirror in, basically if I take a look at my little guide right here, this is going to tell me what direction everything is. Alright, this little red pointer here represents the X direction. Okay, this in particular represents the positive X direction. So anything in the direction going this way, to the right in this case, is going to be positive X. So when I flip my geometry over in this direction, right, I'm going to take this, flip it over to here, to the left. So that's going to be my negative X direction. So I want to make sure I've got my mirror options set to negative X and merge with the original, merge vertices. And I'm just going to hit mirror. Okay. And wasn't very pretty. As you can see, everything has pinched in really severely to this little center point here, and that's just because my mirror threshold is too high. So if I come here to my channel box / layer editor, you can see right here this poly mirror 15. This is the mirror that I just did. My merge threshold is right here. Okay, this is what controls which vertices along this center line will be merged together, okay, and how close they have to be merged together. So I'm going to change it from 0.1 to something much smaller, like 0.01. Okay, we'll try that and see how that works. If we take a look, now we're not seeing quite the same pinching. There's still some pinching happening here in the mouth area, so I can make it even smaller if I want to, just like that. Alright, and you'll want to go around and double check things and make sure that everything is attached properly. Like for example here, I wasn't quite on my center line, so these guys are not. But the one above it is. And that's easy to fix. I can just use my merge vertex tool for an area like that and just snap those guys together manually. Okay. So once I've done that, I've got my face. It's all fixed and looking beautiful and ready to go. So that's it for the critique video today. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, and happy modeling!